Welcome to chaomix. Speed. It's what makes Sonic, Sonic. And since the beginning of his existence, it's been the thing that's differentiated him from the crowd. Listen, I love you Mario, but until you start running through half-pipes and loop-de-loops at supersonic speeds, I gotta choose the other guy. To Sega's credit, this kind of speed was unheard of back then, and it was all thanks to what they referred to as blast processing, allowing the Sega Genesis to render Sonic to go so fast that he practically outran the screen. Since then, video games have definitely evolved to the point where these kind of speeds are nothing too special. Sure, they're cool, but any schmuck out there can do them. So ever since these hardware limitations have been shattered, it's become less about making Sonic go fast, and more about making Sonic feel fast. Yes, there is a difference, and that greatly has to do with the techniques these games use to manipulate the player's perception to create a more thrilling experience, rather than actually increasing Sonic's in-game speed. So join me today as we uncover the under-the-hood game design magic that makes Sonic the Hedgehog really feel like the fastest thing alive. This video is made possible by today's sponsor, Raycon. Summertime is here, and we're all eager to be out and about, soaking in the sun, and maybe even heading out on a vacation or two. I've got my fair share of conventions to go to this summer, and let me tell you, my Raycon earbuds are going to be right there with me every step of the way. Their compact design fits perfectly in my ears, making them super comfortable and easy to carry. Plus, with their noise-isolating fit, they can tune out any pesky outside noise. And it makes everything all the better, because these earbuds deliver an audio experience that rivals even the most premium brands. Raycons pack an impressive 8 hours of playtime, with a total of 32 hours of battery life. That's right, no more worrying about battery drainage during those long summer road trips or tedious video editing sessions. Plus, with their seamless Bluetooth pairing, it's smooth sailing all the way. Raycon is disrupting the electronics industry by designing wireless earbuds that start at half the price of other premium brands. That's top-tier sound quality without the top-tier price tag. On top of that, they also gave us the power to customize our sound experience with 3 distinct sound profiles. Make sure to use the earbud tap functions to toggle between noise isolation and awareness mode. One of my favorite things about Raycon is their range of fun colors and patterns. There's really a style out there to suit everyone. And guess what? They're not just hanging by a thread. No dangling wires or stems to mess with your vibe. The company was co-founded by Ray J, and celebrities from Snoop Dogg to Mike Tyson are obsessed with Raycons. And you know what? So am I. You can support the channel by clicking the link in the description or by going to buyraycon.com/chaomix for an exclusive 15% off your Raycon purchase. Trust me, once you try them, you won't go back. Huge thank you to Raycon for sponsoring today's video, and with all that being said, let's continue with today's episode. Now, it's no surprise to anyone that speed is a big part of Sonic's appeal. It's right there in his tagline, the fastest thing alive. So making Sonic go fast is probably the easiest way to make him feel fast, no shit. But this method has one problem. Physical speed comes at a huge cost. More speed equals less control. It's a fine line the game designers walk, or in this case, run, get it? To maintain the adrenaline rush without making the game unplayable. It's the reason why the boost games, which are some of the fastest games out there, have much less of a 360-degree range of control and have most of their level design based off of long corridors. And why the adventure games, which are still decently fast but not nearly on that same level of speed as the boost games, have this more open feeling to them and allow you to truly explore. What if I told you that there were other tricks that game designers use to make Sonic feel fast that have nothing to do with his physical speed? Camera trickery is probably a game designer's best friend when it comes to making the player feel fast. This method is so OP that it could probably even make a snail feel fast if done properly. The first way that camera trickery can be used to make the player feel fast is by positioning the camera close to the player. In the classic games, the camera is pretty dang close to Sonic, and yeah, it's definitely part of what makes him feel really fast. Don't believe me? Well, if we compare this to if we zoom the entire level out, Sonic looks like a tiny little ant taking a stroll through your kitchen countertops. Yeah, he's going fast, but does he feel fast? Not really. But similar to physical speed, camera closeness is also a fine line that the game developers have to walk, because the closer the camera is to the player, yeah, the faster they'll feel, but you're also shrinking their view on the world, making it harder and harder to avoid obstacles and enemies that now suddenly pop up out of nowhere. This is obviously a bit more sensitive in the 2D games since you can only see as far as the edge of the screen. But even for the 3D games, like Sonic Frontiers for example, zooming the camera in just has Sonic's ass covering most of the action. You gotta find just the right balance for this to be effective. Field of view, or FOV, is another great trick that game designers can use to exaggerate the feeling of speed. What is field of view, some of you might be asking? It's the extent of the observable game world that's visible at any given moment. In simpler terms, it's how much of the game's world a player can see on their screen. When a game designer increases the field of view, more of the game's environment becomes visible to the player. It's like using a wide-angle lens in photography, where objects near the edge of the frame appear smaller and more distant than they would appear with a narrower field of view. And a lot of the more recent games already use this effect. In the Boost games, we can see the camera's field of view dynamically open up as Sonic boosts forward, with more of Sonic's peripheral view coming into frame. It also creates a warping or stretching effect at the edges of the screen, further amplifying the illusion of speed, making Sonic seem like he's moving faster than he actually is. Camera dampening is another fun trick that can be used to make Sonic feel faster. This is basically when the camera slightly lags behind the player, giving the effect that Sonic is outrunning the camera itself, like in this clip of Sonic spin dashing down the ramps in Chemical Plant Zone, or this clip of Sonic straight up going out of frame in Sonic Advance. This works in 3D as well, like when using a dash pad, for example. The final camera trick I'd like to talk about is motion blur, which blurs or smears objects moving rapidly across the screen. It's designed to simulate the natural blurring that the human eyes perceive when things move quickly in real life. This effect is often used in games to create a greater sense of speed, immersion, and realism. But I gotta be honest, while I can't deny that it makes you feel faster, I don't prefer it since it can make the game look really muddy if overused. I much prefer a crystal clear view of my environment, but a little bit of motion blur can still do wonders. The way Sonic moves is also a huge factor in how fast the players may perceive him, so having a good running animation is really important. I actually made a whole video ranking each and every one of Sonic's running animations throughout the entire series, and I found that the ones that really stood out as the best had certain things in common that really helped emphasize their speed. Probably the most important one, proper posing. Does Sonic look like he's going fast? Does the posing make him look like he's exerting great force when running? Or does the running animation just look like a walk animation sped up to ×4 speed? The intensity of the animation needs to match the intensity of the speed. Pacing was another important factor. Does the quickness of the animation sync up with the speed at which Sonic is going? Or does the animation seem faster or slower than the speed he looks like he should be going? Both of these aspects combined are really important in making Sonic feel fast when it comes to animations. If done incorrectly, the player will definitely notice a disconnect between what they're seeing and what they're feeling. Plus, Sonic looking cool as hell while running never hurt anyone. Particle effects can also be a great way to make Sonic feel fast. In Sonic Adventure 2, at certain speeds, Sonic gets these white speed lines that follow behind him, simulating the wind he creates from sprinting forward. In Sonic Advance 2, Sonic has this awesome afterimage effect that makes it seem like not even light can keep up with him. And in the Boost games, Sonic has this blue aura when boosting, creating a blue streak trailing behind, showing his immense exertion of energy. This all helps make the run look that much more intense, leading to Sonic's speed feeling overall faster. Visual tricks aren't the only way to ham up Sonic's speed. Audio also plays a huge role into tricking your brain into believing that Sonic is faster than he actually is. Take his shoe sound effects, for example. Depending on the terrain, the sound of Sonic's shoe tapping against the ground changes to match the material he's stepping on. Him stepping on concrete is going to be different from the sound he makes when on grass. This adds depth and realism to Sonic's speed, helping us not just see, but also feel the velocity. You can even hear this tapping sound increase in frequency as Sonic gets faster and faster. This does an excellent job at letting you hear how fast Sonic's feet are moving as he scampers across the ground. The boost sound effect is another great example of audio enhancing the feeling of Sonic's speed. When activated, it unleashes a deep boom, symbolizing Sonic's speed exceeding the speed of sound and breaking the sound barrier. During the boost, you can hear a whirring noise increasing in pitch as Sonic blasts on. Even the background music becomes muffled, simulating the experience of audio distorting as wind blows past your ears. These audio techniques are something the more retro-styled games don't use, and this can usually be chalked up to older hardware restrictions or trying to emulate those older hardware restrictions. But I gotta say, even for the games that do use these techniques, there's so much more that can be done in this category that I feel aren't being utilized. Imagine a Doppler effect as Sonic passes by objects making noises, with the pitch increasing as he approaches and then decreasing as he passes by. Or subtle whoosh sound effects as objects fly past close to the edges of the camera. There's a bunch of other techniques that I haven't even talked about, but this is something I think Sonic Team should look into for an even further improved sense of speed for Sonic. Level design is the final piece of the puzzle into making Sonic really feel fast. Ever think about the terrain Sonic dashes across? From the slopes of Green Hill Zone to the loop-de-loops in Green Forest, these aren't just fun set pieces. They're specifically designed to enhance Sonic's sense of speed, creating a roller coaster-like experience as he races through each stage. Because for a roller coaster, it's not always about speed. Sometimes it's about the track itself. Is there a huge drop, a loop-de-loop, lots of twists and turns? For Sonic, it's turning tight corners, running straight down skyscrapers, launching off ramps, being chased by massive semi-trucks. These are all things that give the player a sense of exhilaration. In addition to the thrilling terrains and high-speed chases, the thoughtful layout of Sonic's levels also contribute to the feeling of fast-paced gameplay. Think about the precise placement of power-ups, enemies, and obstacles in the game. They aren't just scattered across the map willy-nilly, rather they're strategically positioned to enhance the sense of speed. For instance, consider all the rings found throughout the level. Collecting rings not only boosts Sonic's score or fills his boost gauge, but also provides a rhythmic momentum that propels the gameplay forward. The string of rings that leads you on a specific path, like a trail of breadcrumbs, creates a dynamic that feeds directly into that sense of velocity. Obstacles, too, play a vital role. They challenge the player's reflexes and break up the rhythm of the game. Swiftly dodging an enemy or spike just in time, thanks to Sonic's speed, provides a thrill that slow-paced platformers can't emulate. So take everything and couple it with some momentum physics, and you've got Sonic with not only speed, but speed that the player themselves earned. Level design, when used to empower the player like this, gives a more satisfying and rewarding sense of speed compared to if it were just given to the player for free. So there you have it, folks. The secret sauce to Sonic's speed isn't just his fleet-footedness. It's a careful blend of game design elements, from camera work to animations, sound effects, and level design. They all come together to make the supersonic speed that we all know and love. Because increasing Sonic's speed isn't the only way to make him feel faster. So next time you blaze through a Sonic game, take a moment to appreciate the thought and detail into making Sonic, well, Sonic. Anyways, that's gonna be it for today's video. If you liked it, leave a fat like and subscribe for more way past cool Sonic videos such as this. In the comments below, let me know if you prefer higher speeds with less control, or more control with less speed. Huge thank you to my amazing channel members. And with all that being said, I hope everyone has a fantastic day. Peace.